Hello, my name is Barbara McMahon, and I'm the chair of Wellesley's Community Preservation Committee. On behalf of the members of Wellesley CPC, I am pleased to be presenting our recommended appropriations under Article 17 of the 2020 Annual Town Meeting. Our full report, along with the CPC financial plan, can be found in the advisory report. One change to note since the writing of the advisory report is an increase in the recommended CPA appropriation under Motion 2 of Article 17 from $200,000 to $400,000 for the completion of the softball field reconstruction project. By way of a brief background for new town meeting members, Wellesley's town meeting adopted the Massachusetts Community Preservation Act in 2002. A 9-member CPC was formed, with one representative each from the Natural Resources Commission, the Recreation Commission, the Historical Commission, the Wellesley Housing Authority, and the Planning Board, along with 4 moderator-appointed members. Wellesley is a 1% town, meaning there is a 1% surcharge collected on our real estate tax bills, which is put into a community preservation trust. The state contributes a match at a rate calculated annually based on fees collected at the Registry of Deeds. In fiscal year 19, Wellesley CPA revenues were $1,722,888. Our town meeting recommendations are based on those revenues. For additional details about the Massachusetts Community Preservation Act, its guidelines and requirements, please visit the state website listed on the screen. For a complete list of Wellesley CPA projects and CPA projects in other communities, check the Community Preservation Coalition database, the link also found on the screen. As a reminder, CPA funds can be used in 4 areas: historic preservation, open space, recreation, and community housing. The CPA requires that a minimum of 10% of revenues be allocated to 3 reserves: open space, historic resources, and community housing. The debt service payment for the CPA funded portion of the North 40 purchase, $553,444, is included under Article 8 and fulfills the required allocation to open space. Including the debt service payment, the CPC is recommending appropriations for fiscal year 21 of $1,512,944. We hope you will support the motions under Article 17. Article 17, Motion 1, Administrative Funds and Appropriations to Designated Reserves. This is the CPC version of a housekeeping motion. According to state CPA bylaw, communities can appropriate up to 5% of annual revenues for administrative purposes. These funds are used to pay a part-time administrative assistant who handles CPC clerical and reporting duties, and also to pay coalition dues and other fees. Administrative funds are also used to pay consultants and engineers to help review and define potential CPA projects. The CPC is requesting an appropriation of $85,000 from undesignated reserves for administrative purposes. The CPC anticipates using administrative funds in the coming year for appraiser fees and consultants to help Wellesley put in place the required deed restriction on the CPA-funded portion of the North 40. Unused administrative fees revert to the undesignated fund balance at the close of the year. As mentioned earlier, we are required to appropriate a reserve for future use a minimum of 10% of revenues for 3 designated purposes: open space, community housing, and historic resources. The debt service on the CPA funds used in the purchase of the North 40 fulfills the required contribution to open space reserves. Therefore, the CPC is requesting that $205,000 be appropriated to both the Historic Resources Reserve and the Community Housing Reserve. Thus, under Motion 1, the CPC is recommending a total appropriation of $495,000. Article 17, Motion 2, Softball Field Reconstruction. This project was initiated as a citizens petition with the support of the Youth Softball League, the boosters of the Girls High School Softball Program, and the Wellesley Girl Scouts, With the support of the Playing Fields Task Force and the DPW, and working with the NRC, a $100,000 CPA-funded study of the Honeywell Athletic Field Complex was undertaken as a result of the vote at the 2018 annual town meeting. Based on the consultant's estimate of $1 million for the construction phase of the project, at the 2019 annual town meeting, a $500,000 CPA appropriation was approved, along with $300,000 of town tax impact funding. In addition, $200,000 in private funds were raised to undertake the first part of the softball field project. Final costs for the project came in higher than the original $1 million estimate for a variety of reasons, including the addition of some environmental features that will upgrade stormwater collection and improve water quality, enhanced buffer and screening for neighbors, and upgrades to some amenities. Phase 1 of the project, Lee Field, is substantially complete, and it is beautiful, as you can see in the pictures. The product is an MIAA-compliant, handicap-accessible, beautifully landscaped facility. Phase 2, the multipurpose or Honeywell 2, is slated to begin mid-June 2020. The requested $400,000 will fund the completion of the project. CPC had originally approved recommending a $200,000 appropriation, with the remaining portion to come from the town capital budget. Due to circumstances brought on by the COVID-19 health crisis and resulting economic uncertainties, the town requested all departments make a 25% cut in capital budgets. Because the CPC is committed to seeing this project through to completion, the CPC agreed to take over the town's portion of the remaining cost. We are proud to support this project, and we commend the citizens groups and all town departments and committees for the collaboration and cooperation that has given the town a project we can be proud of. We hope town meeting will join us in our support. Article 17, Motion 3, the restoration of historic atlases. This motion seeks an appropriation of $7,500 from the Historic Resources Reserve to the Planning Department for the restoration of 2 historic Wellesley Town atlases, one from 1897 and one from 1935. The Wellesley Historical Commission fully supports this project. Both atlases have suffered significant deterioration and are in fragile condition. In order for the atlases to be useful, they require some page restoration and rebinding. The Planning Department staff support 3 groups who utilize these atlases: the Planning Board, the Historical Commission, and the Historic District Commission. The atlases are also used by other folks in town researching property issues. CPC believes this is an appropriate use of CPA funds and hopes town meeting will join us in supporting this project. Article 17, Motion 4, Perrin Park Basketball Court Restoration. This appropriation will fund the resurfacing of the basketball court at Perrin Park, the replacement of the basketball hoops, the addition of lines for pickleball, and a removable pickleball net. This project was initiated by a citizen's petition signed by dozens of neighbors and supported by the Natural Resources Commission, the Department of Public Works, and the Recreation Commission. The condition of the court surface has deteriorated to the point where it is no longer safely usable, and if not addressed soon, a more involved rehabilitation will be required. All town departments involved in the discussions agreed that this is an important part of Wellesley's park system. CPC believes delaying this project could result in the loss of this recreational asset. In addition, we see this project as helping satisfy the demand for additional pickleball courts in town. We hope you will join our support. Article 17, Motion 5, Sensory Inclusive Playground Equipment at Warren Park. Under Motion 5 of Article 17, a $12,000 funding request for the installation of sensory inclusive playground equipment at Warren Park will go to the Natural Resources Commission. This initiative was brought forward by 2 high school students in Wellesley under the guidance of the NRC, who are the stewards of the parkland at the Warren Building, and has the support of the Recreation Commission and the DPW. The high school students who do some volunteer work with students on the autism spectrum are proposing the installation of equipment that is sensory inclusive and appealing to children with a variety of physical and development levels. The types of equipment recommended were shown in the photographs are cozy cocoons and a nature station. NRC will oversee the selection and placement of equipment. The DPW will provide the guidance on site prep and installation. CPC looks forward to the completion of a master plan for Wellesley's playgrounds and hopes that this project will lay the groundwork for future installations of this kind. Article 17, Motion 6, Funding for a Lighting Consultant for Honeywell Field Complex. This is a request from the NRC for the cost of a lighting consultant to review the existing lights at the Honeywell Field Complex on the tennis courts, the multipurpose field, or Honeywell 2, and Reedy Field. The consultant will also look at the options for lighting the high school track and field. These existing lights were installed between 15 and 20 years ago and give off extreme amounts of hazard glare and light trespass. This impacts the quality and safety of playing conditions for athletes and contributes to lighting pollution in the adjacent area. The current fixtures are halogen lights, which are less energy efficient than modern LED fixtures. Also, they do not have easy-to-use on-off controls or dimming capabilities. The consultant report will give the NRC a plan and specifications for improving existing lights. The consultant will also report on specifications for options to add lights at the high school track and field. It is important that I stress here that the addition of any new lights would require a public hearing and possibly zoning approval and all the associated permits. This appropriation will help the NRC make an informed decision on the subject of lights at the field. It does not indicate any formal approval of additional lights. Thank you to the citizen groups who have brought forward very worthy projects this year, and many thanks to the town's staff, boards, and committees who have provided so much help and support. The residents of Wellesley can be very proud of the level of cooperation and collaboration that goes into CPA-funded projects. Thank you.